Welcome back to the ModzCity channel. Today we're going to do the APR carbon mirrors install on the RX7 FD3S.
This is the moment we waited for.
First up, we're going to check if the screw will fit into the OEM door, which it does. There is a nut that is attached to the back of this screw, but I ended up not using it because that would require removing the door panels, which I really didn't want to because these cars are very old. So the screws worked fine, so I just went ahead and tossed that nut. So first up, we're going to test fit the product. I am going to remove the two screws that hold the rubber gasket onto the back of the mirror plate. It's at the base. So as you can see, I'm just test fitting how it would align and how it would interact with the door. Removing the two nuts at the back required me to use the Allen key because they were a bit snug on there, and there is a rubber gasket that prevents water from getting into the door. You'll also notice that I have some grommet covers there, which is the black circle right there, and I left them on just as an added protection to prevent water from getting into the door. That hole is where the power mirror wires ran into the door panel, so we didn't need them again since these mirrors are no longer powered. They're fully manual. You set them and kind of forget them. At this point, you don't need to worry about the alignment of the mirror. As you can see, it's facing the front of the car, but don't worry about that. You'll adjust it later on. You're just trying to get the base mounted solid first, and then you can align it for after that. There is a nut that you have to tighten on the stem in order to make sure that it doesn't move while you're driving or going over any bumps and so on. So onto the driver's side. We already did the passenger side, so let's move on to the next. Again, I'm just highlighting the rubber grommet that I left in there just to prevent water from getting in that hole. I still left it in place, and then I used the gasket that is provided by APR, and there you can see I'm just lining up the bolts to ensure that it's fit snug. And as you can see, I was installing it upside down, but I realized, thankfully, and now I have it set correctly.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing.
So I'm just here tightening the base first. I'm not trying to over tighten it. It's pretty snug, so just try not to over tighten it. You might break the bolt. Just to point out, there's no left or right indication on these mirrors. I checked the stem at the base. I checked the carbon fiber mirror itself. There are no indications, no markings to say left or right. So just make sure you're putting the correct one on the correct side of the car. Once the base is tightened up, then we can move on to tightening the big nut, which requires a 19mm spanner. And I opted to use a cloth to cover the nut as well because I didn't want to risk scratching the black paint on the base because it all looks so fresh and nice, so we don't want to scratch it. So I'm here using a cloth just to prevent the spanner from scratching the surface. So this part was fun, trying to tighten it without having the stem move, but then I realized that the stem actually can be unbolted from the base. So you have to tighten the stem onto the base first and then tighten the big nut because it will move. As you can see, it's spinning right there in my hand right now. So a tip, just tighten the stem first. It uses an 8mm spanner, and then you can use that to tighten it and then tighten the base. It did take quite a bit of force to get it tight and then to fiddle your way through to make the stem stop spinning and moving. So tighten the stem and then the base should be good to go after that. Now I'm just trying to figure out what's the best alignment. I will admit that the passenger side, which is the left side of this car, is not the greatest visibility to see behind you. The driver side is very good, but the passenger side is a little bit awkward to look through because the mirror is so small, you're only seeing a partial amount of the mirror. Let me know in the comments if any other RX7 owner has that experience with the APR mirrors. I would love to know.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The APR carbon fiber mirrors installed on the RX7 FD. If I was to change anything, I would probably paint the bolts black just to match because the silver is kind of throwing me off. Maybe in the future I'll just paint the actual bolts themselves and reuse them and install them. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know when we're uploading a new video. And if you have any comments, please share them down below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, drive safe.